Hello, Mama Unicorns. Today we welcome Pilar.
Hey Rowena, how are you?
I am so well. Welcome to Time to Sparkle with Rowena Brykin, and today we are celebrating single moms.
Thank you for having me. We've been following each other for a long time, so it's just really nice to actually sit down and speak face to face, sort of, I guess.
Yes, I've definitely been admiring you for quite some years now. And you really stand out to me for many reasons. First of all, you're a mother of twins and you are rocking it. Okay. The amount of love you show to your boys and the amount of commitment to their education and just making such a warm connection with them, I find very fascinating. And so I think you have a lot to share with mothers in general, but especially single mothers, the real unicorns. So
Thank,
welcome.
thank you.
So I wonder if you will tell us a bit about yourself and where you are in the world.
So my name is Pilar. I am 32, just made 32. I live in Houston, Texas. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California. I moved here just because I turned 18 and I realized it was so expensive to live in California. And I've gotten to Houston and I really like it here. The cost of living is low. It reminds me a lot of Los Angeles, minus the awesome weather and the great scenery. But I've really made my home here and I have my boys here. And I think that um, when you are a single parent, you want to live in a place where, you can afford to live and still have a good quality of life. And so I can create a good life for them here. So we're happy. It's nice. I am a self-taught carpenter. I recently started a business, Wish You Would Custom Creations, and I'm loving it. I did not know I could have such a passion for woodworking. You should see me at Lowe's Home Improvement. I stand out like a sore thumb. It's insane, but I'm enjoying every second of it. So, and I appreciate you for even asking about that. Thanks.
I am so impressed with your skills. One day I saw you, tinkering with some wood, and the next thing you had made this beautiful house. And I was just like, what? The next moment you have a logo and you have a business. So
Yeah,
kudos to you. This is fantastic.
thank you. Appreciate it. Actually, another twin mom, I think you might follow her. Her name's Jenny, but JT Biggers on Instagram. She does lettering. I've been following her for a long time. I feel like I know her just like I feel like I've known you, and I've never even spoken to her face to face, but I really do like her lettering. And so I reached out to her like, hey, can you make a logo for me? And it's kind of new territory for her. But I told her, I said, I believe in you. I want to support another twin mom. So let's do it. And she made my first logo and I'm just in love with it. It's on my shirts now. And so she made my first one. And then my aunt gifted me with my cartoon logo, which I really love. I'm not sure where she got it made, but I love it. So I'll probably use that for like YouTube or IG, fun stuff like that. And then use Jenny's logo that she made for me on my official things like business cards and uniforms and things like that.
I think it's amazing. And it's so special that this business was born out of love, out of you wanting to do something so special for your boys. And it's going to be super successful just because your heart was in the right place from the beginning.
Thank
And how
you.
wonderful that, you can add this income for yourself. I think it's great that you're independent. I know raising multiples is just not cheap. It is not easy. It costs so much. So I'm really, really proud of you. And I wonder if you could tell us, like, what has been the most helpful financial advice you've received to navigate through this journey of being a single mom with twin boys?
Um, Budget is going to be your best friend. You need to budget. You need to really understand where your funds are being allocated. Like that's the first thing. And then you plan ahead. I start shopping for Christmas in October. That's bar none, like a rule. That way, when Christmas actually comes, I do have free funds to get the last minute items that, might have popped up or they might have, developmentally, your kids this age, they're not the same kid they are in October that they are in December. They grow, they develop fast, and they like new things. And so you have free funds for that later if you kind of start planning early rather than like trying to get all your gifts at once because one, that's just a whole lot of money, especially when you have to buy two of everything. And then also, I just don't spend money on myself. which is something I have to really work on. Every once in a while, I should treat myself, and that's something, that is new for me. So
Yeah, I guess, this is mom territory. We are always thinking about them. It's like all I wanted was just to go to the store and get a cute top, and I ended up buying, 10 pairs of socks.
yeah, and that's it. Or some type of pajamas or robe. You know what, hey guys, you guys want to see? I'm talking to Miss Rowena. We're having a mom chat. We're talking about you guys, actually. This is
Hi,
Parker.
Parker. Hi, Preston.
Hi, this is Miss Rowena. Guess what? She has triplets. That means she had 3 babies in her belly at one time, not just 2. Yeah, 3 whole babies, and then plus she has 1 more baby. So she has 4 boys. Yeah. And we're 5.
Yes, you're big boys now. How are you doing?
Good. Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
I love watching your videos of your mom reading stories to you. Your mom is great at stories.
Yeah, she sees all your stuff.
You're very famous now.
Big boy. You're not famous. Okay, guys. Give me a break, okay? I'm famous playing Blade Blade. I have a world champion Blaze, right? You're the world champion? Give me some bread. Okay, step over that. Don't make sure you don't trip, okay?
Okay, bye-bye, boys.
You may have a snack in your room, but throw the trash away, please. And close this door, please. I'm getting down the stairs, though. No, but I don't want you bumping and thumping upstairs because I'm on a call, okay? So you guys have to go to your room. Thank you. I love you dearly.
This is classic mom.
And
I
it's so
think
funny because they have these moments where like it is just me and them in the house. And so after a while when they realize I haven't come and bothered them in a little while, now they're like, oh, where'd she go? It's like they just want to be like near me,
which is so beautiful. I think we should tell the viewers the truth. I mean, where you are, it is now midday.
30. Yeah.
And for me, it's like pretty much near midnight. So we're really trying our best to make it work.
I'm so sorry.
Don't stress at all. I totally knew what I was signing up for when I got to this platform. It happens on every episode. There's not an episode that a kid doesn't come in. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Even my kids come in on my episode. Like, this is being a mom.
That's being a mom. And when you're a single mom and you don't have that other adult in the house to kind of like offset the attention, sometimes I feel bogged down. There are moments where I'm like, oh, you miss me. But other times it's like, goodness, I'll find myself like, they come and linger like near my room or something. Okay. You have a moment, even as a parent, where you want to get away. Like, even if it just means like you're upstairs and I'm down here and I feel like I have like distance. But then here they come, they'll follow you. And so that's a real mom thing. They want to be up under you. My cousin always jokes because when I was pregnant, I was about to have them. I was like emotional wreck. I was like bawling to her, and I was like, "How are they gonna know I'm their mom?" Like I didn't understand motherhood in that way where they don't know me. I'm a stranger. Here's this person just holding you. I didn't understand like chemistry and like biology in the way that they literally can smell you. And so she teases me now because she says you wonder how are they gonna know you're their mom. They know, they definitely know. And so for any moms out there, if you have a baby on the way, just know it's gonna be the greatest bond you've ever had in your entire life. It's unexplainable actually. I remember when I was on bed rest, and so I was on bed rest for a couple of months, and then right before I had them, I had to stay in the hospital for a couple of weeks. And so, and then I stayed when they were in the NICU. I had a C-section, so I was there for a good week and a half, recovering from my C-section. And then after that, I was like allowed to because I was a single mom, I was allowed to stay in the hospital. They like gave me a room there so that I could be close, and yes, I could be close to them, be able to pump and bring the milk right to them, things like that. And so, someone comes to visit and they're like, when's the last time you've been outside? And I could not remember. It had literally been like months, like maybe like a month and a half, 2 months. I hadn't seen what the sky looked like. I had just been stuck inside. They're like, how about, we take you for lunch? I remember getting in the car and like the hospital is like in my rear view, and I'm like, I literally had to take a breath of air. It's like I felt the air leaving my body because these babies that have been with me all this time, like in my body, and then now I've been in the hospital with them, like they're there and I'm over here and they're there and I'm over here. It separation anxiety was so real. I had never felt anything like that before. It was crazy.
Yes, no, I totally understand that. My boys were also in the NICU for a few months, and nobody prepares you for that moment when you leave the hospital without your babies. It's
Yeah.
quite an emotional experience. However, I will say I did get a bit of a rest.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
I
Mary,
had those moments where, the nurse is like, you don't have to be here for every diaper change and every feeding. And, I felt the guilt of feeling like I needed to be, but she's like, it's okay. They don't know. She's like, they don't know. Like, you probably need a nap. I was exhausted. It's crazy. And then, too, what I think they don't tell you when you have a baby or babies is that your body still thinks it's pregnant after you've already had the babies. It takes a minute for you to become emotionally stable again. So just kind of overcoming like all that hormonal imbalance it's nuts. It's nuts.
that's so true. And everybody has a different journey and a different story. And I think your support system is so important. And
Yeah.
there are so many different reasons why people are single. Some people may have had a divorce. Sometimes, people are just not getting along. Other times, a partner may be deceased. But whatever the case may be, those children need you and you need support. So I wonder if you can share, like, was the support system like for you?
And it was actually really amazing. Usually when you think about, bringing children to the world, you have like your nuclear support system. So like mom, your dad, meaning like the grandparents, maybe you have sisters and brothers, immediate aunts, uncles, and like stuff like that. But that wasn't my reality. The family that I have here are essentially like distant relatives, like second and third cousins. And I had to literally piece my village together. And it's taught me a lot about human connectivity because, you know, the universe will fill the voids in your life. It doesn't always mean like, this person has to be the go-to or that person. You find the people that are willing and will love on your children and take care of your children as if they're your own. And so I had, distant relatives that really rallied around me at the time. And through them, they introduced me to their friends and their colleagues who, had an affinity for babies and really understood that I needed help. It's nice when you have like, let's say compared to me, at the time I was like 26. So my cousin, she's like in her 50s. She knows what it means to be a mom and need that help. And so that's the biggest advice I can give to any new mom is that you want to find those women that understand the trials and tribulations of being a mom because those people won't make you feel guilty for needing their help. And it's okay to ask for help. Everybody needs help. Everyone. And I had to get over that. I had to remove all the like nervousness and anxiety of like, oh, I just need to take a shower. Like, can you watch them? Stuff like that. You learn who's willing and who's able, and who's not gonna bring it up later, like I did this for you type of thing. And those are the sound people that you want a part of your village that, really I'm such a better mom because of the people that have been, a part of my village. They taught me how to kind of do things better. I remember, I've taken care of babies before, but when they're your own, it's like you're a deer caught in the headlights. I remember Preston's first blowout in his diaper. I was sobbing. It was like up his back and it was like all over the place. I had never
On his
experienced
neck.
that. It was like went up his neck. And so, and I was living with my cousin. And so she comes out and she finds me. I'm like in the living room with the lights dimmed and I'm like crying because and I have Preston like on his stomach because I didn't want to lay him on his back. It's like all the way up his neck. I just didn't know what to do. And I was scared to even ask anybody in the middle of the night, nonetheless. So you have these moments where people are like, it's okay. There's going to be a first for everything. And every kid is different. Every kid has their own medical challenges. Every kid has their own learning and development challenges or not challenges, but every kid is different. Every kid has different likes, dislikes. One kid might be allergic to one thing, the other is not. And so you learn that, and you kind of shape your parenthood around that. So
Yeah, one of the things that I really admire about you is your positive attitude. You definitely are not somebody to play the victim. You have always presented yourself in such a positive way. You always keep yourself looking so good, and you always smiling with your boys, and you really are positive. And I really think many women can learn so much from that, because you can wallow in despair and think of all the things that you don't have, you know or you can really look at what you do have. And what you have are two beautiful twin boys who have overcome incredible challenges.
yeah,
So well done.
thank you. Thank you. I do. I tell women, like, kids feel that energy. Have you ever like encountered a baby that just cries all the time? And we're not talking like colic or upset stomach or something like that. Well, we're talking about literally if the mom during pregnancy is moody and crying and just bothered throughout her pregnancy, that baby's personality will be shaped from that. And so it was something I was very sensitive to, something I was very aware of. And I wanted healthy, happy kids. Life happens. Like you said, in my situation, it's not a situation where the dad is deceased or anything, but there are plenty of other situations where women are happily married, they have babies, and then life happens. And now you're thrown into a different situation, and either you can be sad about it, you can be bogged down by it, or you can just rise above it. You can only do what you can do when you can do it. And I just wanted to have happy kids. I want to be a happy person. I want to have others around me that feel that same energy. And so if I'm happy, then the people around me have no choice but to be happy. And if they're not, they're negative people, my energy repels that. And so that's something I think that my kids have definitely gotten. So if you're ever around them, like Preston Parker are just the funnest kids to be around, I swear, because they don't have a care as far as like bad things. They don't feel that. And so that's something I really do. I pride myself on. I'm very proud of myself for that, because I do encounter women that do reach out to me and they're in a funk. They're like, oh, knowing that either they have this impending single motherhood or things didn't go as they planned. And, the one thing that I will tell people, you can't make anybody else do something they don't want to do. And when you understand that and you embrace that and you accept that, then you start to have more control over what you're able to do. And what I'm able to do is love my babies. I'm able to create an environment for them to grow and flourish. And I'm able to be better because of that, because I literally see my walking, talking work and energy and time, being the best it can, and so that makes me feel better every day. And I know that I'm doing something right. And that's all you can do.
That's so true. I think every woman needs to hear that motherhood can be a lonely place. I mean, now your kids are older, and yes, they're your friends, and actually we can't get rid of them. After the age of 2, they're like there. But before the age of 2, it can be quite lonely. And even if you have a partner, everybody's partner interacts with children in a different way. You
Yes.
might have a partner and he might not be interested at all in the process. You might have a partner that works away from your home. So I think you have to look at your scenario and just find a way to be positive. And what are the things that really keep you going? What are the things that you turn to for positive vibes, for happiness, apart from being with the boys? What are the things that you can really say pick you up when you're down?
Self-care for sure. So I talked about not spending money on myself, but the one thing that I do, I maintain my nails. I go to the nail shop, I get my nails done, I get my feet done, I tip extra. They rub me down, and it is my moment to just relax and really enjoy being pampered. I can't stress self-care enough. So even if that's not, another woman's reality, maintaining, I guess, hair or nails or something like that, I'm bubble baths. I take bubble baths all the time. I burn candles. I listen to music. I pray. I'm very founded in my spirituality. I pray a lot, and I talk to God. And when I talk to God, it's not like this like fluffy conversation, like, dear Lord, thank you. All this. It's not always like that. Sometimes I tell him, like, today was hard. Like, why was it hard? And I'm honest with him, and I leave it all there. And the next day I feel better because, like you said, motherhood can be a lonely place. It can be, there are times where new moms, all their friends don't have kids yet. So now you're in this new space and time where before, when you were able to relate to your friends, you're not able to do that anymore. How are you going to talk to your friends about bottle feedings and poopy diapers and colic and all these types of things? You can't. And so you have to find those things that give you an outlet away from it. And I just think that's really essential. I pour into myself as much as I can, and that keeps me in a really good place. Caring for myself, whether that's reading a book or taking a bath or something like that. That's what I do.
I love that. And it's so good for your boys to see you loving yourself and caring for yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Especially because they're boys. I mean, it's different when you have a daughter. The daughter's going to mimic what you're doing. But it's important that as boys, they see a woman caring for herself a certain way. It's very important because that shapes what they're into in the future, what they're attracted to or repelled from. And so I'm very mindful of that too. Definitely leading by example is like a better way to put it.
Yes. Another thing that I've noticed you're very mindful of is communicating the message of family. And I think you really are very open about what your family structure is and giving them an opportunity to embrace that. I mean, I saw one video of you reading a special story about families and what they look like. And so I wonder if you can tell us more about how you communicate that with your twin boys.
So in being positive and not focusing on the negative, I don't speak ill of their father. I don't speak bad about him or anything like that. And so they don't know to have negative feelings about that. All they know is their current reality. And so when we do, and their friends have mommies and daddies in the home. And so when they do ask me questions about that, I want to focus on the positive. And so we talk about how fun our family is, though, like, because that's our reality right now. I try to parent them in a way where we focus on what we do have rather than what we don't have. And so it's like, but, mommy and you and your brother, we're like this, though. It's a really cool book about adoption. Tony Dungy and his wife wrote it. And I really thought that was cool because certain topics, I think, in society are kind of taboo. We just don't talk about it. And that's ridiculous because there are so many different versions of family. There's so many kids out here being raised by their grandparents. There are so many kids out here being raised by big brothers and big sisters whose parents might have been deceased or something like that. And now the older siblings have to take on the reins. There's so many families that don't look like mommy, daddy, this. There's two dads in the home, there's two moms in the home, or you have one mom that has 5 kids and she's a single mom. Or even what I learned through my pregnancy, there are a lot of women that want to be moms all by themselves because they just truly desire to be a mother. And I think going through my pregnancy, it opened my mind up a lot to what that looks like. And so I'm very, I just don't want them to ever feel void if I don't have to. And I think that's your only job as a parent, is to protect your kids from those negative things that don't even have to be an element in their lives. They don't have to feel bad because I'm a single mom. We're doing just fine. Yes. And it doesn't mean that, they don't want a man in the house. And it doesn't mean that I don't want a man in the house. It just means that for now, this is the reality. And we want to feel good about our current reality. And that's all you can do.
I love that. And everybody should have that understanding of this is my current reality. And I'm gonna sparkle in it.
Yes.
What else can you do, really? But just
They're
be
gonna
happy.
be they're gonna
Right.
be miserable. That's
Exactly.
a lot of people. I think that's where depression comes from, is focusing on the reality and then not liking what that reality looks like, rather than focusing on what the reality can be and then putting your energy towards that. So if you embrace your current reality and understand that everything is temporary, that's another thing I'm very aware of, in the early phases of my pregnancy and also when they were babies. My reality wasn't like what you would think of like as happy. I would meet people and they would just like have this look of gloom, like, what? You're by yourself? And it's kind of like inside, yes, I was heartbroken, some days, but I kept a smile because I can't allow other people's thoughts or perceptions there, because I think it's a lot better to be in my situation where I'm single with the babies, but I'm not miserable. I'm happy. I'm doing the best I can with everything that I have in front of me, rather than always thinking about like what I don't have. And so having that mindset, I really learned, like, gosh, like, you can shape your reality into anything because everything is temporary. Who I was literally 3 hours ago, I'm not in this current moment, let alone last week or 5 years ago or 10 years ago. We're always evolving, we're always changing. And if you know that, then you know that your current situation is never going to stay the same, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent.
That's so true. And speaking about situations changing, I'm certainly not asking you about your current love life. I don't really want to know, but I would like to know, what are your thoughts on moving on and on um, starting a relationship when you are a mom? What are your thoughts on that? Have you thought about, what it would be like? What are your goals? Do you have any advice, perhaps, on the topic? What do you think about moving on, being a mom?
I think moving on, regardless of your situation, is always important. You always want to be moving forward because you don't want to be stagnant, and then you don't want to always be like. But at the same time, I'm very sensitive to it, just because their father's not in their life at all, and so in that situation, I have to take extra special care of when they even see my energy going in towards another direction. Sometimes I have dated. Um, Figure out what works for you and what doesn't. For me, a lot, it's like schedule and timing. So, you know, you meet a guy and he's like, "Oh, cool, let me take you out this Saturday," and it's kind of like, "Oh, I gotta find a sitter," And in my situation, I'm very mindful of, like, because I need my village also for me when I'm working, when I need to do things for me, whether that be grocery shopping. There's times I don't want to drag Preston Parker with me everywhere. And so I have to use my village spirit. I don't want to just keep calling up the same people, like, "Hey, watch my kids, I'm about to go out." And so I think that just finding balance is a thing. Any woman who is a single mom and she's thinking about dating, I'm going to give you the advice that a friend told me, because there was a time I wasn't dating at all. And, the friend was like, "That's not good." They're like, just because you start dating, I think in society we got how you're supposed to date all jumbled up. You don't date one person and then you treat the dating like monogamy, like what you don't like. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, go
Okay.
ahead.
You figure out what you like, what you don't like. The friend is like, "Hey, go on a date. A guy asks you out for a drink or even a cup of coffee, go. And if you don't like it, you never have to go again." It's that simple. And so that would be my advice. And it's something that I have to work on. It's definitely trying to be more open and not be so closed off, because you don't know what's out there. And if you have this mindset like, "Oh, nothing ever works out," or "I just don't have the time," that's not good either. Anybody needs an outlet, and we're not created to be alone. We're created for companionship. And so I think it is important to, if you're not trying to be in a relationship, at least every once in a while, kind of get that outlet for you, because that's also a part of self-care.
I love that you are so responsible about the energy that you allow into your schedule, the energy that you allow to influence you in your personal time. Because I think meeting anybody and going on any kind of, date or interaction really does expose you to new things. And so,
Yeah.
you know, you definitely are thinking about that, and you definitely are making good choices about when, where, how, and why. So good for you.
So how do you guys go on date nights? Like, how are you able to arrange that? And what does your village look like? Because you have four. So it's one thing when somebody needs, oh, just watch my one kid or even my two kids, but do they all get split up? Do two go here or one go here or all of them? Like, how does it work for you guys when you are able to get some time together?
Okay, so for us, we live in Abu Dhabi. So that means that neither of us have our family here.
Right.
The system allows for us to have a nanny who lives with us. So we have a nanny who lives with us. She's from Kenya. Her name is Falgana, and she is delightful. We had another lady with us before, and her name was Mary Jane, and she was incredible, like another member of the family, but she had to move on. And now we have Falgana who lives with us, and she's from Kenya. And it's like having,
I did not know that you guys had a whole nanny. That's
yes,
crazy.
yes, yes,
That's nice.
it's quite common. I'm from South Africa. We also, have that system. So that definitely does help. So Falgana lives with us. She lives in our home, and she travels home to see her family from time to time. So that is a help for us. So we schedule it with her, and we at least once a week do go on a date night. We put our kids to bed, and we're off. Sometimes it looks like a breakfast, more of a breakfast than it is a date night, either time to do a lunch, but we try to really schedule time together. We did a marriage course, and that was one of the primary things they said, was just to have a marriage time. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's what we do.
that's nice. Okay, nice. I never knew that. Meanwhile, I'm like, okay, because I'm like, she is superwoman. Like, no one's helping her. I'm like, she is amazing. You still are superwoman. But that's a fun fact because like,
Definitely helps.
everyone needs help.
Yes, no, it definitely helps. And I think in my situation, it's really more of a necessity than it is a luxury. I mean, you think of having your mother, just having your mother to watch them for a few hours is everything. I can't depend on a neighbor. Like literally, my neighbors are a Pakistani family, another family from UAE. I've got a British neighbor. And another Brazilian neighbor. Like we just from completely different worlds,
Yeah.
so the values may be different, and so we really needed somebody who we could depend on. And then I am a stay-home mom, so I am full-time here, and Falgana just helped me manage things really.
What do you do for self care?
Ooh, I also love going to the spa. The spa is everything for me. I also love getting my nails done. I'm all about a foot massage. I'm like, any day is a foot massage. I also really like doing face masks, like DIY face masks. I love just popping out for coffee and even just doing a walk with my hubby. I wouldn't call myself a fitness fanatic, but getting a good walk in does really calm me down and relax me. I did put this question out to the Mama Unicorns on the Facebook page and Instagram account, and I got some interesting responses from the ladies. But I think the overwhelming thing was exercise. People feel that exercise is their outlet, really. So
Mm.
yeah.
That's nice. That's something I have to get back into. I was definitely really into fitness before I had the twins. I used to work out like 4 or 5 times a week. And then it was like I had them and it all stopped. And especially because, fortunately in my situation, I didn't have to do much to get back to what I looked like before. And I think it's just been like kind of a negative incentive for me to like not, stay on it. But I will say when you do have little boys and this, it keeps you active anyway. And so I know somewhere I get some kind of fitness in, just even people always talk about like my muscles. And I'm like, well, yeah, you try holding 2 car seats at one time. You
I'm with you on that. Like we have muscles. Look at that. We have muscles. We really yours
have
are bigger
like
than mine, but we have muscles.
picking up multiple people at once and they need you. Like it's like muscle memory. It's like my body is just like, well, you're buff now.
But I think I have one arm stronger than the other. And most people maybe carry their baby on the right hand, but I actually carried my babies on the left hand so that my right hand could be multitasking.
Right. You actually, it's like when you're a mom of multiples, you, if you're not ambidextrous, you learn to be. You learn, I mean, gosh, you should see me driving and like opening snacks and like passing them in the seat behind me and like, but I'm on the freeway. And it's like I can't kill us. So you learn how to really adapt and I guess do things you never knew you could or never knew you'd be able to kind of like compartmentalize and I can do this and I can do this and I can do this and it's all happening literally in the same time frame. So
Yeah.
well, I think we're superheroes secretly.
Yeah, definitely. We are mama unicorns. Unique,
Yeah,
beautiful, unbelievable, but real.
absolutely. I wanted to ask you too about when you found out you were having triplets, what was your response? Were you like ecstatic or was there like a tiny moment where you were like completely terrified?
Well, I have multiples in the family. So I have seen family deal with twins, and I know that it's no walk in the park. So my initial response was, okay. My husband was flabbergasted. I mean, my husband is in finance. So I think the first thing he did was just the numbers. The numbers are probably just rolling through, rolling through his mind. And he had to sit
Went
down.
out of pocket.
I remember he was studying his MBA and he went off to Greece to do an assignment. And for those few days, we just didn't speak about it. We just were silent. And he got back and he had these little um, rompers, onesies. He brought these three onesies and he set them on the sofa. And we looked at them and realized we're actually having three babies. So yeah, definitely a mix of emotions. And then I will add that the doctor wasn't very kind. I mean, he was like prophet of doom. He's like, this is so difficult. This is your first pregnancy and you're having triplets and the risk is so high. And so, I would say,
I will say maternal health care is definitely like really awful in America, surprisingly. But I would say globally, something has to change as far as how women especially are treated in hospitals because when we talk about having like a doula and a midwife, those are the people that understand like those are not the things you want to hear when you go into the doctor's office. You don't want to hear that. It's
exactly.
insane. When I found out, I was horrified. I found out on Halloween, so I thought she was lying. I was so emotionally unstable that I was not nice to her. I said some choice words and I told her, you can give me candy on my way out, but I don't, like these tricks you're trying to, I mean, I really thought it was like a prank, like a Halloween, like just joking. No, then she like turns the screen around and it's like, oh, 1, 2, and then it's like, oh, I start crying and I'm like, oh my God. And then it sets in and it's like, wait. There were even moments when the babies were little that they would be asleep and they would take pretty good naps. So because NICU kind of trains babies. Thank God. Oh,
Thank God for that.
thank God. I feel for all the moms who have paternal babies who make it full term. They're like make it to like 36, 37 weeks. Their babies have to go home with them immediately. But if you do have premature babies, you're going to be delighted to know that in the NICU, they do think about the parents. And so they train the babies 1 hour off from each other. So that was nice. But so they took good naps. So I would forget. I'd have these moments where it hadn't been long enough. I would forget. I would have this moment of relaxation. All the bottles were washed. All the clothes were washed and folded. I wasn't pumping. And I would just sit there and like have they call it like pregnancy brain, but I would have like a moment of like clear headedness where I forget I had kids. And then I'd walk past their like bassinet and it's like, oh crap, there's 2 babies in there. Like, oh my God. It was literally like a reality I had to learn how to accept every day for like a good first year. It's just like, oh, there's 2 of you. I can only imagine 3. Kudos to you. I promise you. I follow your page and I'm just like, oh my God, how is she making all these trays? How is she keeping up with all them? But you too, you have a way to of really exuding just like your peace. You seem like real peaceful as a person. And then even though I know you have a husband, you're completely outnumbered. You're the only female in the house outside of your nanny. Like, what is that like?
Well, I really love girly things, and I always saw myself as a girl mom. So when I had the triplets and I found out they were boys, I was a little bit disappointed if I'm honest. And then when I discovered that my second pregnancy was another boy, I was like, really, Lord? Really?
Are you guys going to try for more?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, no, I think our family is complete. We're very happy. We have two babies each, two hands, two kids.
Yeah.
So we don't have any plans to have another baby, no. But just to go back to your question about being outnumbered, I always try to create a little girly space for myself. And that's really how Mama Unicorn started. I was like, I'm going to create this girly space where I can be as girly as I want to be and as feminine as I want to be, and nobody's going to give me the side eye. So,
Yeah.
so that's what happened. And yeah, I actually love being the rose in the home.
Yeah, that's nice. I feel like that too. I really do. I want more, if I'm able to. I want to be married and all those kinds of things. But I would love a daughter just because sometimes I just want to like sit still in color. Like I don't want to be a ninja and I don't want to play with dinosaurs. And you know what I mean? Like I don't want to do like karate and talk about Pokemon all day. Like sometimes I just want to like talk about flowers and pink things. And
Yeah, I just want to paint your little nails, and I just want to take you with me to the spa. Um, but yeah, it's really amazing. But I do, you mentioned a peace. I'm so grateful to God, and that the peace that I experience, I believe it comes from Him, and the Holy Spirit is my peace. And so I always just go to God in the difficult times, and it's not easy. Like you say, you look at my page and you feel inspired and you see that things are under control, but it's a lot of chaos. And, people need to realize that Instagram is your best moments. It's literally, this is my best moment and everything else was rubbish. And then this is my best moment. So I think I always try to be as realistic as possible, but yeah, it's not easy, not easy.
it's not easy. And I know that too. I think that a lot of times we get caught up in like comparing ourselves to other people and not really realizing that there's so much you just don't know that goes into it. And I can only imagine like having two more than I have now, like kudos to you. That's
Honey.
and they're all off to school right now?
Yeah,
Or
I've got a mixed bag because I've got a 2.5-year-old who's at home. He should have started, but because of COVID, the nursery is a bit difficult. And then I've got one boy who has gone to another school for special educational facilities that they offer for him. And then I've got two boys who are on a 1 week on, 1 week off schedule. So it is quite different. So I think scheduling has always been a lot. Yeah.
so a calendar your best friend?
Listen, the calendar has been my best friend before children. I'm happy to have children as an excuse to love my calendar. How do you manage?
Now I'm clinging to my calendar, but before it was like, it was like something I just didn't know because I didn't see my mom having to do that. She had me and then she had my brother, and we were like 4 years apart, and then my brother passed away, so then it was just me, and I didn't witness that type of mommyhood, and so to literally, and then I'm like the only one in my family with natural twins that no one could give me advice on like where to turn next. And so then I tapped into the mother of multiples community, and you start to meet people. It's like once I had twins, you start to meet all these people with multiples. I've never seen a triplet mom in my entire life. All of them, and there's a bunch of you everywhere. So that has been really nice, and what I love Instagram for, outside of all the other crap you might come across, there are some really amazing, inspiring people who have testimonies that really can like get you over the hump, and show you things that you didn't know before.
Yes, that's so true. And I think everybody should understand that if ever you're feeling lost and if ever you're feeling lonely, just go online. But also just be wise about which groups you join, because not all groups actually feed your soul in a good way. A lot of groups are just hanging on negativity and just complaining constantly and just staying in a victim mentality. So I think it's really important
Yeah.
to judge where you are.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, last question for you.
Yes,
Do
yes.
you cook?
Oh my goodness, do I cook? These people eat so much. Do you know how much my family eat? My goodness, I need a farm. I need
I
some.
want to know about meal prep. I want to know about what your approach is to grocery shopping. Like, how do you handle all that? That's something I need to know because I still don't have a hang on it.
Yeah, for us, the biggest thing is online shopping. So all the major things, I mean, you know what you use all the time, your milk, your bread, rice, quinoa, whatever the things you normally go for. Those things, I just make sure that they are bought in bulk and online, and they just get delivered to our house. And then for fresh produce, there's lots of companies that will just deliver a box. And I like a company called Kipson's, and they just
Okay,
deliver
I've heard
a
of
bunch of random
Yeah.
things that always work. So yeah, definitely bulk shopping worked, and then we just pop over to the store just for the bits and bobs here and there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then, so when you do like prep dinner, like, so for today, like if you cooked today and you want dinner done by 7, like when did you start the meal?
Yeah, around 3, 2, 3. That's the time when kids are not at home, because somebody wants to help me chop the onions. Somebody wants to, cook another mini dish on the mini kitchen set next to the stove. So I try to get it done with another round. But the slow cooker is my best friend. I was gifted a slow cooker by my very good friend Debbie, and it's been my saving grace using a slow cooker. And then just cooking in bulk. Freezing, meals and having them ready on those days when you're so busy and the schedule has you running for, all sorts of things. So having frozen meals really helped me a lot.
Okay, awesome. I would love if you could like create some content for that one of these days. That's something that this single mom really needs. I've watched the YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff, but I have very picky eaters. So it's not like I can just cook whatever either. And that's very frustrating because I don't want to be that mom that's like your kids are surviving off nuggets and fries. Like that's not reality either. And I keep telling Preston and Parker that like you're not going to grow to like your biggest potential if you're constantly eating junk. So I'm just trying to steer them away from that and try to find like fun creative ways where I can make like these new foods that would be new to them kind of fun and like have
Yes.
them be open to eat them. Like that's something that me personally I'm trying to figure out currently because it's stressful. Here I am eating Brussels sprouts and they won't try them, or green beans or asparagus or whatever it is. People are like, oh, well, if you don't eat it, they don't eat it. And I'm like, no, I eat it all the time. They won't even try.
There are so many nutritionists who have, dedicated their lives to this very thing. And I have a good friend named Dr. Carmen James, and I'm definitely going to get her to come and give us some tips. But I don't have content, I mean, for dinner stuff. I do have stuff for lunch. I do have a page called Love in My Lunchbox, which gives simple, healthy lunch ideas, and I'll definitely share that with you. And I've struggled, I have a kid on the spectrum, and picky eating is something that I understand very well. But there is a phase, there is a phase where they just want to eat one thing. But when you find yourself in that phase, my experience was that's when you need to do the work. Because if you give in to them in that phase, you're just never going to get out of it. But that's for another episode, which we can talk. Um, but yeah, I think you're doing a great job. Your boys are growing so healthy. I've seen them thriving, and I've seen you thriving. And yeah, don't be too hard on yourself. Your kids are doing great. You're doing great. Nobody has rotting teeth. So
Right. Thank you. That and their lives and their that's a win at the end of the day. I always say that Parker's a little he's kind of like the dangerous one, and so he's always like bumping his head or knocking out his teeth. And so days where we're like scab free, injury free, that's the win for me. It's just the win. I had a sorry, this is off topic, but I had a friend of a friend share my business page yesterday, and it's like I went from like this amount of followers to like all of this. And what I love in this new space and time with like COVID, and we've had a time to like pause and relax, is like I really see women, this new culture of women like supporting women. And like I want to continue to live in that world where like we just want to like uplift each other, because you uplifting me makes me want to uplift you more. It makes me want to do something now for the next woman and just make ourselves feel celebrated. I feel a lot of times, you know, we're like the afterthought because we're taking care of the kids, we're taking care of the men, and we're not taking care of each other or, you know, our sister friends. And so I really appreciate you. They're making me feel special for the day. Thank
Oh,
you.
because you are so special. No, I'm special.
And you know, I do want to tell women, if I can do it, you can do it. You know, I think a lot of times people see someone's personality or their character, or, you know, they have this village or whatever, but you can do anything you seriously put your mind to. It's just about a commitment. I think what really is the foundation of me being such a great mom is I'm fully committed to my babies. Like I want them, I think of them when they're my age. I think of them when they're 60 with you know, kids and grandkids of their own. I think about them then, and it's like, what am I doing now that really creates the legacy for them in the future when I'm no longer here? And it's just commitment. That's the main thing. You make a commitment, everything else blooms from commitment. And you just got to stay committed and stay in the game. And gosh, like you can do it. That's my message for moms that are having a hard time right now, moms that feel like their laundry is not being folded. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, I have loved finally meeting and getting to get.
I feel like I've known you forever. Like we
Thank
chat
you.
with this all the time. This is really
Yes,
nice.
yes. Well, on this platform, Time to Sparkle with Rowena Brykin, we celebrate women. And today I want to celebrate you.
Thank you. Get out of here.
Pilar, you sparkle. Everything you do shines. The way that you communicate with your boys, you speak to them in such a beautiful way. You are a loving mother. You are so positive, and you speak the truth in love. I want you to know that we are admiring you. We are proud of you. You're doing a fantastic job. Shine on, Mama Unicorn.
Oh, thank you, sister. I appreciate it. You're so cool. You're so cool. You're so cool. I gotta start thinking about other amazing mom women that I know. Like we've got to get this platform out there.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been incredible.
Thank you so much, Rowena. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a good rest.
You too. God bless you.
God
Bye-bye.
bless you.